Hello, thank you for attending a recording of what to expect for a virtual advocacy day. So I wanted to introduce our presenters for this recording. We have Barb Clora, Resolve's President and CEO. We have Lincoln Clapper from Advocacy Associates. We have Becca O'Connor from ASRM, and then myself, Tracy Sullivan from Resolve as well. So our agenda for this recording, we're going to be providing an overview of Advocacy Day. We're going to have Lincoln talk about schedule and logistics. We're going to talk about how to prepare for an Advocacy Day, and then some questions and Q&A for lobbyists. So now I'm going to turn it over to Barb to talk about the overview.
Thanks so much, Tracy. And we're so excited that you're going to be attending Resolve and ASRM's virtual Advocacy Day this year on June 17th. So what to expect? How does this work? You're going to be doing your meetings from the comfort of your home. You are going to have at least 3 meetings on June 17th. We're going to continuously refer to these as meetings, but remember, it's virtual. They're going to be either phone calls or a Zoom call, one or the other. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But you're going to have a minimum of 3. Why 3? Because you have 2 U.S. senators who represent your state. And then you have a member of the House of Representatives, one of your representatives from your congressional district. And so we're going to make sure that you meet with both your U.S. senators as well as your own representative, since you are their constituent. Here's the good news: you're not going to be alone. You're going to be paired up with other advocates from your state and hopefully your congressional district even. So if there are other people who are from the same congressional district, you're going to all be together all day. If you are the only person from your congressional district, you'll be teamed up with other folks from your state. So you'll go to those Senate meetings together, and then somebody will come with you to your meeting with your representative, and you may go with them to their meeting. If for some reason you're the only person from your state, we will be sure that there are other advocates in neighboring states who join you. We also have some people who are senior mentors and experienced advocates, and sometimes they attend with you as well. Bottom line, you won't be alone. We're going to try and keep our meetings to no more than 10, 15, maybe 20 people, but 10 to 15 is the sweet spot. That's only really when in those states where we have a lot of people registered. So for example, there might be a lot of people from the state of Maryland or the state of Virginia, and we're going to limit it to about 15 people for those U.S. Senate meetings. And we'll work it out so that everyone gets a chance to at least participate. But the good news is you're going to be led by a state captain. We already have secured volunteers to be state captains in all 50 states, and they're really going to be the ones helping you figure this out: who's going to go with whom to what meetings, looking at your schedules, and then making sure you're all trained and ready to go for the day. So it's awesome that you're all going to have this state captain helping you along, and with everyone in your group. In fact, you're going to get a chance to meet your state captain and meet the others in your state delegation well before June 17th. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. On the day of June 17th, you're going to check in with your state captain in the morning. This is just an opportunity for everybody to sort of say, I'm here and I'm ready to go. That way, if there is somebody who, for whatever reason, wakes up that morning and can't participate, we can go ahead and make arrangements for making some changes to their schedule. We are going to all join together for a kickoff in the morning on June 17th. It's going to be through a technology conference platform called Remo. You're going to hear some motivational messages, some inspiring words, and really feel empowered and ready for the day. Your actual meetings, those calls or Zoom calls, are going to take place somewhere between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time. The schedule and everything is based on Eastern time because that's where Washington, D.C. is, and all of the people that you'll be meeting with are located on Eastern time. So we're going to work all day, be prepared. We don't know always exactly what your schedule is going to look like, and we'll talk a little bit about that on this call, but you need to make yourself available between 10 and 5 so that you can be sure to attend all your meetings and that you're prepared and ready to go. We've arranged for some fun meetups at the end of the day. This is going to be based on time zone. So this is a chance to kind of kick back, maybe grab a beverage for a happy hour, but really it's fun to see how everybody's day went and hear the stories and hear our impact of what happened that day. So the plan on that as well. Again, you're going to get all of these detailed schedules closer and closer, but that just gives you an overview of sort of what to expect and how the day is going to work. I will say the great thing about being virtual is that you have time during your day between meetings to get on social media and really make a big noise about what we're doing that day. And so I hope you get yourself prepared and ready to go. And I'm going to now turn it over to Becca for some more insights into the day. Becca?
Great. Thanks, Barb. And I'm so glad you're all here. What should I wear? It's a big question, especially when we have our in-person advocacy day. But for purposes of what we expect to be Zoom meetings and phone calls, we'll still say the same thing. We want you to be comfortable because it is a long day. And think about how we're going to brand ourselves as a group coming together to talk about these issues. So for instance, some of you have Resolve shirts and some of them say 1 in 8, and you will get instructions from Resolve and from your state captains about how to order them if you don't have them. It's a great idea to think about as a team, as a state team, what you want to wear collectively. Maybe you all decide on a certain color, but bottom line, think of it as a professional meeting, and so as my dad would say, school clothes, and just be comfortable for the day. In terms of technology platforms, Barb touched on this a little bit. In the morning, we'll be working with a platform called Remo. And then for those that have Zoom calls, they'll be scheduled through the Zoom platform. And there's also conference call lines being used for the telephone meetings that are taking place. You will get all of those instructions through your state captains and through the others. So bottom line, don't worry about it. You will get all of the information that you need to have a seamless connection during these meetings. Will I have to speak about every bill? Gosh, I hope not. No, we wouldn't do that to you. The bottom line for this is you're here to share your story and you're here to make it personal. And so we want you to make sure that you have an opportunity when you speak to talk about the things that are personal to you. For instance, if you're a veteran, you're going to focus probably on the bills that speak to veterans' needs. And the bottom line for us is you're going to work with your state captain and the others that are in your meeting ahead of time, and you will have this opportunity to figure out who's going to say what and when, so that you can each touch on things that resonate for you, because that's really what's going to translate in the meeting. If you don't know the answer to a question, don't worry about it. Don't guess. Never guess or make it up. Just say, that's a great question. I'm glad to get back to you. You're not expected to be the subject matter experts on all the things. Your expertise is your story and your experience, and that is what's so valuable. The meetings, as we've said, will be a combination of video and phone, and your state captains will give you explicit instructions, and you'll receive emails with all the details for your meetings and whether it will be phone or video. And I'm going to turn it over to Lincoln.
Thank you. My name is Lincoln Clapper. I'm part of the Advocacy Associates team here in DC, and I wanted to spend some time walking you all through how you're going to be getting your schedules and how to navigate that platform that we'll be using for your Capitol Hill Day. So that being said, I'll jump right into it in terms of how you should expect that initial email. Now, you're going to be getting an email from us sometime the week of June 6th. That's when you can expect to get that from us. And within that email, it will come from our domain. So advocacyday@advocacyassociates.com, highlighted here in green. Within that email will be a link to your schedule, highlighted here in red. So what you want to do is click on that link. It'll automatically log you into your schedule and you'll be ready to go. Now, if for some reason you feel like you haven't received that email when that date is announced by the Resolve team, check your spam or junk folder first before reaching out. It more than likely ended up there. If you do find it in that folder, go ahead and unmark it as spam, because this will be the main way that we correspond with you for scheduling updates, and we want to make sure you're getting all that correspondence. Now, if for some reason you try to get into your schedule and you become logged out, maybe by accident, or sometimes there's an issue with browsers not saving cookies and your link may push you out, you're going to end up at a login page that'll look like this. And so what you want to do if you end up at a page that looks like this is don't try to enter a username or password. Just click on the send me a sign-in link button listed at the bottom of this module, which will then take you to a dashboard where you can enter the email address that you registered for this event with. So enter the email address that you registered for the event with, click the send email button, and you'll get a new refreshed link to your schedule. If for some reason you're still not able to get in at that point, just click on the support tab. From there, you'll be taken to a dashboard where you can indicate you're having trouble accessing your account. This will go directly to our development team, and then they will reach out momentarily to get that issue resolved. Now, once you're launched into your schedule, you'll see the homepage dashboard, and it'll look very much like this. All of your confirmed meetings will be displayed on the top part of the page. If there's any pending meetings that we're still working on, you'll see those displayed on the bottom. However, this will give you a full snapshot of all the meeting requests we've made on your behalf. As mentioned earlier, please note that all times on your schedule are listed in Eastern time zone, and I'm going to be reviewing some information later about reminder emails that we send out just to help keep everybody on track throughout the course of the day. Please do note that we have taken into account where all of you live. So for the most part, your schedule will take place during normal business hours for whatever time zone you're located in, but the times on your schedule will be reflected in Eastern time zone. Now, in order to access the content for each meeting, all you want to do is hover your mouse over any part of that meeting dashboard for that particular time slot and just click on it, and you'll be launched into another dashboard that'll look like this. At the top, you'll see the time and date of that meeting, followed by who you're going to be speaking with in that office, whether it's staff, member of Congress, or both. Beneath that will be the meeting lead. And as mentioned earlier in the conversation, you'll have a state captain and meeting leads for most of your meetings. So you'll see that attendee's name listed here. If there is no lead for that particular meeting, then that area will be blank. Now, in order to access the video component for the meeting, simply just click on the green Join Online Meeting button. This will open up the Zoom platform. 99 out of 100 meetings will have this capability. There are a handful of offices on the Hill that for some reason just do not have a video capability set up, or it's an internal office policy that they just don't take meetings over video. So there may be one or two out of your whole project that may have a disclaimer that says there is no video component. In that case, you're just supposed to use the dial-in information. But please use the Zoom component for all of your meetings. It's a great way for you all just to engage with each other throughout the course of the meeting. If you're not able to access via video, you can also dial in as well. And that information will be listed beneath the Join Online Meeting button. So just follow the prompt in the access code if you need to dial in. In the upper right-hand corner will be your talking points. They will be discussed here more in length later in this presentation, but you'll see those displayed in the upper right-hand corner, followed by a document section that will display all of your talking point supplemental documents for you to reference during your discussion. Simply click on each document. It will open up in a separate tab as a PDF file. So you'll be able to have that open, your schedule open, and your Zoom platform all open at the same time, and will make it real easy for you to reference and go back and forth. Beneath that will be a list of the attendees who are going to be in that meeting with you. There may be some relevant contact information as well for you to contact each other ahead of time. There's also a peer-to-peer chat function in the platform. So if you click on that blue chat bubble next to their name, you can actually send a direct message to that advocate through our platform. If somebody does try to message you through the platform, you're going to get a notification about that from our system. On the left-hand side are a report form area. The first one is the check-in feature, We're asking everybody to mark that button before each meeting just to indicate that you've checked in, as we'll be sending this attendance report to the Resolve team after the event just to double check who was present for these meetings. Beneath that is an option for you to send a thank you note to the office once the meeting concludes. The Resolve team has already crafted the script for you. You can open this in one of two ways. Click the blue open email button at the top, which will open the native email platform on your computer. So for example, I use Outlook on my computer, and if I were to click that, it would create an automated pre-written Outlook email for me to send. If you don't have anything like that, that's perfectly fine. You can use the copy clipboard buttons beneath that. By clicking on each button, it'll copy that information to your clipboard, and you can then paste that into your Gmail or your Yahoo or whatever email platform you use and send that to the Hill after the meeting concludes. Beneath that will be your meeting report form. This will be a list of questions that the Resolve team would like you to answer after each meeting. Simply go through one by one, answer the questions as they're described, and once you get to the bottom, you can click the Submit Answers button, and we'll take you back to the home screen. Very critical and very important to have these questions answered, as this information is really valuable for their government affairs efforts after this event. Beneath that is the Take Notes button. So this is essentially a module where you can take freehand notes, sort of like pen and paper, but virtually. It's optional, you don't need to use it, but if you do want to utilize it to take bullet points or any type of notes at all, you're able to do that throughout the course of the meeting as well. Beneath that is an option to select whether the member of Congress attended or did not attend the meeting. Similar to the check-in feature, this is basically an attendance report for the member of Congress, and really just useful information for the Resolve team to have in terms of how they initiate the follow-up with each office after the event's over. Just simply mark one or the other. For those of you that have participated in this event before, you know that the meeting may be scheduled with the member of Congress, but they get pulled away to votes, or they're stuck at a committee hearing, they're not able to make it. Or vice versa, where it's not scheduled with a member of Congress and their schedule frees up and then they're able to join. Again, just very useful information for us and the government affairs team to know. Lastly, beneath that will be some options to share this via social media. So for you social media fans, you'll be able to access your Twitter account, Facebook or LinkedIn directly from our profile and send out some type of a post after the meeting concludes. Once it does conclude, just click on the Meetings tab on the top bar. That will take you back to the home page, and you can navigate your way down from one meeting to the next The Legislators tab will take you to an area where you can view a bio for each member of Congress, such as this. You'll also have links to all of their social media pages as well if you want to go to their website, post directly to their Facebook wall, or look up their Twitter handle. The Bills section will be an area that will highlight relevant bills that you're tracking. It will also show the vote history of how that member of Congress has voted on those bills previously. The news section just pulls any relevant news that member has been mentioned in across various internet platforms. And the committees tab, will highlight all the committees that member of Congress serves on. The last three options on our top menu bar are our Messages tab. That's an area where you can view those peer-to-peer messages that you're sending back and forth with other advocates. The directory is a master directory for every advocate in the event, so it's not just limited to people in your meetings. You can contact anyone across the Resolve network through the directory tab. And the Support tab will be your best friend in terms of scheduling support, technical support, really anything at all. Go to the Support tab, fill out the form submission. There will also be a phone number there for you to contact if it's very time sensitive, so you can get a hold of our team. The More section is basically a drop-down menu to view all the content I've already reviewed, just in a little bit of a quicker and just a more organized fashion from the home page. There's also some what to expect videos there if you'd like to watch those on your free time as well. My last slide here, I just want to review some relevant information and reminders to keep in handy. Again, check your spam or junk folder if you feel like you haven't gotten the email from us on the date that the Resolve team announces that schedules are being released. Our domain is @advocacyassociates.com, and some of you may need that information to unmark us as spam in your email settings. We're asking everybody to call and get into their meeting 5 minutes prior to the start time. And this is for two reasons, really. One, just for everybody to touch base on the roles for the meeting and establish who's going to open up the conversation, but also to give you some bandwidth in case maybe you're running a little bit late or you've misdialed the information and you need to redial again. We just want to make sure everyone's present in the Zoom room by the time the office joins, so the meeting starts on time. All times, again, are listed in Eastern time zone on your schedule. However, you're going to get a reminder email 1 hour prior to every single meeting throughout the course of the day from our team. And it will have a link to your schedule in that reminder email as well. So don't feel like you need to keep one draft of an email handy to access your schedule. We're constantly updating you with a link to your schedule. We're going to make it as easy as possible for you to get back in and access those meetings throughout the course of the day. If an office doesn't join your meeting within 10 minutes past the start time, go ahead and have everybody hang up, have somebody from your team contact us. And again, our help number will be listed in that support tab if you do need to get a hold of us for a time-sensitive scenario like that. The last thing we want is for you to hang on the line for 15, 20, 25 minutes, knowing there's been a mix-up in the office. We would much rather get in touch with them, get proactive and reschedule for later in the day. However, do give them 10 minutes of buffer time to join. Please also know that meetings have been arranged in 15-minute increments. Generally, these are going longer in our virtual environment across all of our clients, but please do approach each meeting in terms of formulating your talking points and getting your pitch prepared to be prepared that this meeting will only last 15 minutes. Any changes to your schedule the day of the event will be sent via email. So again, make sure you're checking that regularly throughout the course of the day. Make sure you're in an area with good Wi-Fi connection so you can utilize the Zoom platform. Please mute your microphone on that platform whenever you are not speaking. And my last bullet here, just ensure you have an appropriate background as you'll be speaking with both Republicans and Democrats throughout the course of the day. So very, very much looking forward to this event, and I will turn it back over to Tracy at this point.
Thank you so much, Lincoln. I'm going to add in our PowerPoint. And one thing to note is that Resolve is going to be creating Zoom backgrounds that you can utilize on the day as well. So if you aren't sure of what virtual background to use, we will definitely provide some samples for you.
Tracy, is it okay if I ask Lincoln a question?
Yes, of course.
Lincoln, a lot of people are using their phone for Zoom calls. Do you have a recommendation on how people should be accessing both your platform and their meetings on our Advocacy Day?
Yeah, so 100%, if you have a laptop or a computer, that is going to be the most ideal way to access your platform and all of your meetings for the day. You can do this on your mobile device. However, it really will serve, it will give you the best opportunity to utilize the platform in its entirety, since, again, 99 out of 100 meetings will take place on the Zoom platform. And you want to have that dashboard open on your computer so you can have your schedule and your documents and all your reference material ready to go in case you need to reference that during any of your virtual meetings with Bill.
Great, thank you.
All right, so we wanted to talk about a few ways of how to prepare for Advocacy Day. So we will be sending you engagement emails. The first email was actually sent out this week. So again, if you did not receive that, please check your spam or junk folders. And if you still don't see it, please reach out to me and I will make sure to send you that information. These engagement emails will have great information on training, details, documents, everything that you need for Advocacy Day. Next, to prepare, to watch, make sure to watch the recorded training webinars. These are really important and will provide helpful information for you to help prepare you for the day. We talked a little bit about state captains earlier in this presentation. Just a reminder, your state captains are your leaders from your state. They are experienced advocates, and they are there to help you and guide you throughout the day. Your state captains will be in touch with you several weeks prior to Advocacy Day to help to schedule a practice call with your full group. So anyone who is registered from your state, And again, they will be there to help determine, who's going to speak on which issues, the flow and the order of the meeting. But also please use them as a resource. If you have specific questions, they're there to help you and to help guide you. For moving on, familiarizing yourself with the technology platforms. As Becca had mentioned, we will provide you with more information on instructions on how to get into all of these platforms, what platforms will be used. And so we just ask that leading up to Advocacy Day to make sure that you sign on to these platforms and feel comfortable and familiar with them. And if you have any questions, so please reach out to your state captains or myself, and we're happy to help. On the Resolve Advocacy Day website, we have a tab that is specifically dedicated to training documents and resources. This is a great page to utilize, and it has, all of those information and documents that we said. For example, how to work as a state delegation, tips on frequently asked questions, a leave behind document. So all of that information will be on that one web page. I'm going to turn it over to Becca for some questions.
Great. So as a lobbyist, I guess I get stuck with the questions. For lobbyists, which is my pleasure to answer, asking what the typical flow of a meeting is like is sort of like when you ask somebody, what's your typical day like? It varies. For instance, it depends if the member drops in on that meeting, that might change this, but generally speaking, it's pretty formulaic. You're going to have, as Barb said, a very brief window. You have 15 minutes. And so we use it wisely. You begin with your introductions. Everyone will have a chance, and you'll organize this ahead of time to introduce themselves. And then, as Tracy mentioned, you're going to have an opportunity before the actual meeting to sort of divvy up who's going to say what and what you're going to focus on. And quite frankly, you can't cover everything in detail that we are advocating for in a 15-minute window. And so we'll be thoughtful, and the leader of the meeting will be thoughtful about raising points that are key to that particular member's office. For instance, if they sit on appropriations, which is the spending committee, they're going to make sure that they're making a plug for NIH funding or the like. But generally speaking, it's intros, it's quick snippets about the bills and why they matter to us, or the resolutions, and closing out. The staff member and or member themselves will likely say something to all of you to say thank you for your participation and speak about the member's leadership on a particular issue or interest in it. And you end always with a reminder that you will be following up and thanking them for their time. Quick and simple. And as we said, whether you're meeting with the staff member or the member of Congress should be denoted at the outset, but things can change, so just be prepared for anything. Typically, it's a staffer that you're meeting with. And yes, some of them will look 12 years old or surprise you in demeanor, but trust me, they are, for that day, they are the member of Congress to you. They are your future senator. So treat them with the same sort of deference and respect that you would the actual member themselves. As a first-time advocate who's nervous, the most important thing you can do is listen to all the tips you've heard already about this. Visit the Resolve website, the Advocacy Day website, and look at the training materials. That's one thing. If you're familiar with the topics that you want to be sure to cover, you'll be much more comfortable and confident stepping into the meeting. But most importantly, and I say this to anyone that I bring to the Hill, remember that these are people too. And that your greatest strength is, they hear from people like me that get paid as lobbyists all the time. What they need to hear are the personal stories, and they need to connect these issues to the people that are going to be impacted. So just remember that you already have that card in your back pocket of being a constituent, of being somebody that they are there to represent and listen to. And you have that strength walking in. If your member is already supportive of the bills and issues, say thank you. Definitely say thank you. And, they love to hear it. And it's important. After the meeting, make sure, as I said, you follow up. What does that look like? It might be, You say, you send the thank you email and you say, I'll follow up with your office in 2 weeks to see if you've taken a position on a particular measure. Or it might be tweeting at them. Hey, it was great to meet with your staff. Still looking to see your support on the resolution. You know, there'll be ample opportunities to do it, but definitely do that and keep an eye on things. Keep an eye out for emails from us and from the advocacy teams at ASRM and Resolve about opportunities to weigh in on policies and bills as they continue to move through the legislative process. This is not a one and done process. Advocacy Day is, if anything else, a platform to the rest of the year of advocacy that's ongoing. So stay with us and stay tuned for ways that you can continue to amplify your voices. And turning it to, who's coming? Barb?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Becca.
Okay.
And so our last slide, I just wanted to highlight a few reminders and questions. So our registration process requires a two-step confirmation. So once you register, you'll receive an autoresponder from Resolve. You need to click reply, and you can even just type in confirm. We'll confirm you for that. If you do not do the two-step process, we won't officially add you into meetings for the day. So that's really important to make sure to do. And again, want to highlight, if you are unable to attend or something comes up, please let us know as soon as possible. We want to make sure that we are requesting the appropriate meetings with offices. And if someone is the only constituent in the meeting, we may need to cancel that meeting. So again, if something comes up, please let us know. If you have any additional questions at all, please feel free to contact your state captain, who will be reaching out to you. However, please feel free to reach out to me as well at tsullivan@resolve.org and join our Facebook page that is in our email engagements.
I have one question, Tracy.
Yes.
And Lincoln, I know people are going to want to get onto your platform before June 17th. And I know that we are going to be letting them know when they should be receiving that link. Do you anticipate that that's like a couple of days before Advocacy Day, or is that usually like a week or two before Advocacy Day?
It'll be sometime the week of June 6th. So that'll be about a week out from your event. So look, everyone will have about a week heads up before the actual day of the event to plan your day around the meetings, double check the schedule, make sure you familiarize yourself with the platform, all of it.
And then changes to the schedule, will those, could those happen even like the day before the event?
Yes, so for those of you who have not participated in this event before, scheduling on Capitol Hill can be rather fluid sometimes. And so if there are any changes to your schedule, you will get an automated email from our system letting you know of the update. So don't feel like you need to have your eyes on the schedule like a hawk for 6 days. We will certainly be letting you know if there are any changes to your schedule from our system. So again, very important to make sure you're checking your email regularly throughout the course of that week leading up to the event.
Thank you. Thanks, Tracy.
Wonderful. Well, we will go ahead and close out. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for joining Advocacy Day.
Thank you, everyone.